got Clarence Hill, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Patrick Walker of DallasCowboys.com. We got the author himself. He is Jean-Jacques Taylor, author of the new book, Coach Prime, coming your way next month. But I got an advanced copy, but you can go ahead and order yours and have it right on the doorstep when it comes out here. Deion Sanders and the Making of Men. I am merely Newy Scruggs. Let us get right to the breaking news, which is...
Trevon Diggs exited practice on Thursday here at the Star with what's being described as a possible knee injury. He was seen on crutches in the locker room. He's expected to go on MRI as early as this afternoon for the Cowboys to determine the extent of the injury. So, it is possible that he could miss time, but the Cowboys won't know for certain until they get the results of that MRI. So that's where we are with Trevon Diggs at the moment. And it's unfortunate, obviously, in and of itself, but also because the Cowboys, they were looking good as far as trending upward on the injury front. Donovan Wilson looks like he's ready to come back. Brandon Cooks possibly, Tyler Smith, and then we'll see if they lose Trevon Diggs this week, if not for a longer period of time. So breaking news. We're waiting to see what happens with Trevon Diggs.
Okay, so I was finishing an interview with Deuce Vaughn in the locker room, and I get the microphone to Noah Bullard because I got to get over here to do the Players Lounge. And as I'm walking out that south part of the locker room, one of the Cowboys staffers steps in front, kind of like move out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And
made
then
a big deal.
Right. And then right behind him comes Diggs on crutches. Yep. And I saw it didn't look good, and his face didn't look good. And I'm like, oh, boy.
It's the nature of the beast, man. It's the nature of the National Football League. It's always about attrition and whether your team can survive the injuries that are going to come. It's just a matter of who gets hurt and how long they out. I mean, whether it's the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, it's the Carolina Panthers without Bryce Young today. The name of the game is attrition and how you handle it. And the only good thing for the Cowboys is they're a deep team, and there's nobody who's going to be as good as Diggs, but it's not like you have to put a spare out there.
Well, I mean,
and I'm talking about just in the short term, not the long term until we find out what's up.
Well, you're right. If it's a season ender, then that's a huge blow. I mean, just like you got depth, but you don't have.
You don't have that depth.
You don't have Diggs. You don't have a Pro Bowler who is not giving up anything to opposing quarterbacks and turns the ball over with the regularity. Yes, you like your depth, you like your other players, but the reason why this team and the season has something to be special is because the talent, the front line talent as well as the depth. And if something's serious, if it's long-term season injury, that's a huge blow for the Cowboys.
No doubt.
I mean, and you guys said it. It also goes to depth as well. You look at the situation with New York and Saquon Barkley. I mean, they don't necessarily have depth at that position. And the good news for the Cowboys is if Diggs is set to miss any amount of time, then you have guys like Deron Bland and fortuitous timing in the healing and ready to go for Jordan Lewis. I mean, Jordan Lewis couldn't have come back at a better time because that gives you the option of putting Deron Bland on the outside. We saw Deron in training camp taking some reps on the outside. So, and Deron Bland, to JJT's point, I mean, he's not a scrub. He's not to the Trevon Diggs level, to your point, Chill, but, I mean, he's still one of the best cornerbacks in the league, especially at taking the ball away. So, yes, there's no other way to spin it. Nor should it be spun any other way. If Trevon Diggs misses any amount of time, it is a blow for the Cowboys defense. But it's also true that they at least have some very talented depth. Now, that's going to cause them to have to revisit, like, who's your third option there at boundary corner and things like that. They have a guy on the practice squad in Butler, and, you trade for Noah Igbenogany. This would be a good chance for him, former first-round pick, to try to step up. But then maybe you start having, like, the trade conversation from a depth perspective. So, it'll open up a lot of things.
Yeah, I would see that Bland would start. I'm possibly moving Gilmore to the other side because Bland has got more experience playing on the left side at cornerback, an outside cornerback. And you're right. The Diggs coming back is not Diggs, but Lewis coming back is fortuitous, and certainly he can play the slot and handle that. And Noah coming in, he's a boundary corner.
Yes,
he's your third boundary corner, former first round pick. You need to find out about him anyway.
Yep.
So the depth is there. You got options, and we know who they're going to replace him with, but they're not Diggs and Gilmore.
It's not the same.
That was one of the best tandems in the league.
One of the best, not Diggs and Gilmore. And Diggs, listen, we love Gilmore. He doesn't run like those young guys anymore. And so you needed that corner out there that could run and chase and do some of those things. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Yes, other teams have injuries, but Giants ain't contending for the Super Bowl. This is about Super Bowl and bust. You got to keep up with the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers, but the Eagles and the 49ers. That's what you're measuring against, and you need all hands on deck to break that 28-year streak.
I agree, and I mean, just hope for the best. Like Dak Prescott said, it's too early because we don't have the MRI results. But thoughts and prayers, and we hope for the best, and that it's something that Trevon can return this season from, for both him and for the for the defense as well. So.
When do we think we know something from the MRI?
I mean, it depends on when it's going to come out. Obviously it don't take long. And they got a machine out here. It don't take long for them to find out. And like with anything, let's be honest.
Like they know before they took the MRI.
They just get something confirmed. The MRI is confirmed. They know. The doctors know. They basically it's like with the Aaron Rodgers thing. They knew. When he heard the pop, everybody knew on the field. You do the MRI just to get things confirmed, maybe the seriousness and how long. But they know it's the somber tone and all the other stuff. It doesn't look good. But yeah, somebody call Adam Schefter or somebody like that or whoever else shortly.
Hate to start the show off on a downer,
but that's why it's a long season. Everybody. It's like. How many times you look good early and things happen, and so you don't win Super Bowls in September. You certainly don't win the first 2 weeks of the season. It's a marathon. You got to weather it all, and again, this might not be the last one. So yes, on paper, when you're all healthy, this team is as good as anybody. Now when everybody ain't healthy, we'll see.
I give Mike McCarthy a lot of credit as a head coach because he constantly talks about how you're going to need everyone. Mm-hmm. And going back to that Super Bowl that he won at Jerry World for Green Bay, they needed a plethora of guys even during that game. Like Charles Woodson got hurt during that game. So this fits in line with the way he has coached here and tried to talk about how you're going to need young players. You need people to step up here. So I hate it for Diggs. Mm-hmm. And said we don't know what's happening yet, but you just hate when I saw the look on it. You just hate to see it because we cover the team. And after a while, you cover him, and there's guys you come to like. Diggs I like Diggs. Yeah. He's a good egg, man. He's fun. He's fun to chat with, and you hate to see something like this happen.
And we were talking to him yesterday, and he was talking about how his game has improved.
Yes,
we know he can cover and doing showing the physicality like he showed early in the season, and from things that were questions about his game, and and having Gilmore here to teach him and learn things from Gilmore. It was the arrow was going up and it was already high already, and so you hate that for the guys. You be around guys you don't want and see anybody get hurt and not be able to live out their dreams and stuff like that. You get the contract and then you're hurt. All of that is just a setback.
And then in how excited he was to take the field this season opposite Stephon Gilmore, and and again we'll see how much time he misses, if he misses any at all. Like Clarence said, he's not wrong. The tone is somber, so it doesn't feel good right now, but we'll see. But I mean, it just goes to the human aspect of it, like you said, Nui. I mean, we're covering the team, we're talking to these guys on a regular basis, and Trevon Diggs is most certainly a good egg. He's a good guy. He has his fun. He competes hard. Great locker room presence. Coaching staff loves him. Team loves him, and just also from the aspect of guys who cover the NFL and who love the sport. I mean, you want to see the best possible matchups on the field, and you want to see the best players playing at all times. And if Trevon's down on the field, we kind of get robbed of that as well. So
it's same thing. Yes, that's the attitude of Aaron Rodgers. You hate it for the game.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
When your best players are out there,
because we want to see that.
And I hate it for the game that we won't see Aiden in the stands anymore.
I was just getting ready to tell on Aiden. Just the joy that
the joy that for his dad.
That upsets me on a different level because you just know, if it is a terrible scenario and Aiden gets the news, I mean, poor young man. We love you, Aiden, man.
Yeah, we love you, and you love the joy he has for his dad and for the team, and you don't really get to see that. This is a new phenomenon with the social media and the world we live in. We didn't, and him having kids early and that old enough to appreciate what you're doing. A lot of times you players have kids and they're too young and they really can't appreciate their career and what they're going through, and so you get to see something like that. It's awesome.
So you don't want to be so down, but this is our business.
This is the league.
This is what we do. This is what we cover.
Yeah, that's what when I talked to Dak in the walkout, man, it's like a bang bang play. It's football, and it's a game. I mean,
and
you just want to.
football giveth, it taketh away. It's likely going to give the Cowboys back Donovan Wilson, who hasn't, before this week, hadn't practiced since suffering the calf strain on day 1 or day 2 of training camp. So you get Donovan Wilson back, who's your tone setter on defense, and you might have lost your best cornerback.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was talking to Bones about it the other day, and I was talking to some other reporters about it today. This is the last game you can do a practice squad call-up for C.J. Goodwin. Mm-hmm. So you have to bring him to the roster, you have to cut somebody. So to bring C.J. Goodwin up, who are you going to cut? Now we were going through names, and then this happens. I mean, you just got to let the game is so violent and so temporary and not for long.
I mean, coaches
that you got to let it play out.
Yeah, those types of things tend to handle themselves.
Yeah.
When it comes to who's going to go down for who needs to come up, and unfortunately, sometimes it's just poor play by a particular player, and that makes the decision easy for the coaches, and sometimes an injury makes the decision for the coaches.
Yeah. Well, you see the Panthers are sitting around here battling injuries here. We saw Nick Chubb get hurt this week. Then we saw Aaron Rodgers, and this is the game, and roster management matters.
Yeah.
The good general managers and also the good coaches, the guys who could take the younger players and get them ready to go. I go back and look at Overshown. How I was bummed when Demarion Overshown was hurt, because he looked like he was going to be able to have a nice role for this team, and then here it is. They've coached up Bell. Bell's ready to go, and he's made a contribution.
Well, I think if you listen to McCarthy, he's all about draft and develop. I mean, part of that is because he grew up in Green Bay,
yes,
where you're not signing no free agents, so you better figure out how to draft and develop. And so he's brought that attitude to Dallas, and you see with the young guys coming up in terms of Bland and some others. And to me, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If players on your team believe that if I practice hard and I play good, I'll get time or I'll have a role no matter where I was drafted or where I'm at on the roster on the depth chart, they automatically will start practicing harder and performing better because they'll see the opportunity will be there. Right. The reward is the playing time. And then if I ball out like Bland did last year, guess what? I get more playing time. Right. But go ahead.
But I think, again, that's the good part because they're deep on defense. You're not just replacing them with guys. And I have flipped it last year when they lost Amari Cooper. They were just replacing them with guys. So just because you got a guy for them don't mean he's quality depth. Yeah. And then you go in the playoff game, you lose Tony Pollard, and you really don't have any playmakers. On the flip, this time, yeah, they lose a great player, but they do have proven playmakers, guys that can make plays to replace them. Unlike last year when you were replacing guys, but you wasn't getting nothing done.
Yeah, and that's a good point when it comes to like last year, for example. You had already lost Jordan Lewis to injury, and then you lose Anthony Brown, and then now you're leaning heavily on Kelvin Joseph, who even up to that point hadn't really showed you much.
And all the experiments going up to the playoffs, they were just trying guys out.
Kelvin, then he got pulled, and it was Nashawn, and then ultimately it was Mukwamu who took the start as the slot corner in Tampa Bay.
So late in the season.
So I will say they're in a much better space now than they were then. Yeah. We'll see what happens with Igbenogany. Former first-round pick, a lot of pressure on him, and he looks ready for his quote-unquote fresh start.
You heard that pronunciation.
Yeah, I got that. He got that
down. But that's from a backup capacity. So you're talking about Noah coming in as a backup, ascending to CB3, really.
CB3.
But then last year it was Kelvin having to become that starting boundary guy opposite Diggs.
And
wasn't ready. Different situation. Now Jordan's back. Jordan's healthy. He's ready. You move. You keep Jordan at nickel. Stephon, maybe you flip field with him because of where Bland plays best as far as left boundary, and then now you're looking at the depth and saying, okay, Noah, you're up. You got to be ready. Eric Scott, let's go. Eric Scott, we traded up for you in the 6th round. Ready or not, here she comes.
We talk about next man up until the next man can't play.
Well, I ain't never got down.
It sounds good till the next man can't play.
Well,
These next men can.
I was going to say, unless the next man can play.
Yeah. These next men, they got something. I mean, Bland showed up last year, and so he's a guy that you trust that's going to hold it down. But, hey, it's football.
Let's take our first break here on the Media Mash with Clarence Hill. We've got Patrick Walker, John Jock Taylor. I'm Newy Scruggs. The health of the O-line. There's a positive. Let's get to a positive next right here on the Media Mash on DallasCowboys.com radio.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of you and everyone else absolutely loving new smoothie bowls from Smoothie King. And woo, me too. These smoothie bowls start with acai and pitaya and are handcrafted with fresh toppings like sliced bananas, sweet berries, crunchy Purely Elizabeth granola, and a savory peanut butter drizzle. New smoothie bowls, only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. Hashtag be your own boss.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Media Mash.
All right, Media Mash right here on DallasCowboys.com radio. We got Clarence Hill, Fort Worth Star Telegram. We've got Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Jean-Jacques Taylor, the author, longtime Cowboys beat writer. I am Newey Scruggs. So, still waiting on news of Trevon Diggs and a possible knee injury, but let us talk about one thing that is healthy in this segment, and that is the offensive line. And Tyler Smith should be playing at Arizona this weekend when the Cowboys take on the Cardinals, which would give them the starting offensive line that they thought they would have in training camp. Jacques, go ahead.
Oh, no, I mean, this is what you want, dog. I mean, especially when you're trying to get your running game on track. I think Tony Pollard, 25 for 72. Now, you can't take away the 23-yard run, but I'm going to take it away. That's like 2 yards a carry on them other 23 carries. Yes, I understand he was banging at the end of the game, but still, you like to see a little more production. So I think getting the offensive line back, getting all your guys healthy obviously helps that. And it gives you a little flexibility. You don't always have to run behind Steele and Martin. You can now flip it up because Tyler's a road grader.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they gave Tyler time to get completely healthy, and then they're bringing him back in a situation wherein they're 2-0, and you don't ever overlook an NFL team. They get paid too. Their coaches get paid too. But it's also true that, going against this Cardinals team wouldn't be the same as holding him out another week or so and looking at the 49ers. You need guys like Tyler Smith and Donovan Smith at full prime operating mode for a team like the 49ers. So coming in, letting him get his feet wet against a very capable defensive front in Arizona, albeit without Carlos Watkins, still those guys can get after the quarterback. So Tyler Smith coming back, we will finally, if this holds, we'll get to see the best five of the Cowboys offensive linemen for the first time this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. And I would say that I would caution to say that they're going to be healthy. I would say that they're going to get him on the field because Zach Martin's still dealing. Yeah. He's still dealing with something, and so he's limited in practice. And the Cowboys expecting to play and hopefully get him on the practice field Saturday because he didn't practice today. But at least getting your five guys out there. You haven't had them out there all season. You had them out there for one day in practice in training camp. And I understand that you haven't had your starting offensive line that you hope to have coming into the season since the playoff loss to the 49ers 2 years ago. Because you didn't have them start at all last year because Tyron Smith was out.
Right.
So this is the first time you really got the guys that you hope to have coming into the season on the field for the first time together since going back to the end of the 2021 season. So that's important, and getting that chemistry down, which to me should help some of the red zone issues. You talk about the running game and stuff like that. Getting your guys up front, getting your best offensive lineman out there helps improve those areas.
All right, starting to come in now, taking the show a different direction, but several outlets are reporting that Diggs has been diagnosed with a torn ACL.
Well, I mean, if that holds true, that matches the somber tone that we've been seeing, that we saw in the locker room today. I mean, amongst players, I talked to a couple of defensive coaches prior to the MRI happening, and they weren't too optimistic either. So, I mean, if that holds true, then you absolutely hate it. Like, you can't help but hate it for a guy like that who's, he's the definitive franchise cornerback. He's arguably your best ball hawk. And then on top of that, you see in the first 2 games, he started to answer the narrative about being physical, making those tackles, stepping up and making those tackles. So he was off to a hot start. And obviously this would end his season. So, next man up. But like we're talking about, Chill, at least the next man in 2023 is better than that quote-unquote next man for 2022. So it's on Bland, and Lewis is going to do his thing as the nickel, but it's on Bland to step up as the boundary guy as opposed to that ball hawking nickel. It's on Noah I, as McCarthy calls him, to step up. It's on Eric Scott to step up, a rookie who's going to be asked to do a lot, which I don't think is unfair because Deron Bland was asked to do a lot last year when they lost Jordan Lewis, and he did. So I don't expect Eric Scott to come in and have 5 or 6 interceptions, but you're up, young man.
So, and I'm trying to reach back into my Cowboy history here.
Right.
Wasn't it Pup who tore his
Achilles.
ACL?
It was Achilles.
Achilles, okay.
It was Achilles.
Yeah, Achilles.
Game 1 against the Giants after they signed
his big deal.
Dion, and he signed his deal, and then they had signed Dion, and then people were wondering about Larry Brown, what's going to happen, and then bam, right out the gate, it's Larry Brown and Deion Sanders manning the corner spot going. So we have, unfortunately for Cowboy fans, this has happened before, but remind me, what kind of season did they have that year?
They replaced him with Deion Sanders.
Well, he yelled at you, dog.
I'm just saying, though, you can't, to make that correlation, you got to understand they replaced him with the defensive MVP from the year. Did they not?
Is that the question I asked?
But inherent in the question you asked, come on.
I thought the question was how did the season end.
Yes.
How did the season end? How did the season end, Jock Taylor?
The season ended because that was my first year on the beat.
How did the season end?
I was in there watching confetti fall for Super Bowl.
They won the Super Bowl then.
Yeah.
So are we making the direct correlation that the Cowboys lose their best cornerback and they end the season with Super Bowl to a year when they didn't lose their best cornerback?
Let me just simply,
and they ended in the Super Bowl. They gained a better cornerback to replace it. I'm talking about that 1-to-1 correlation that you was trying to do there.
No,
Hey, man.
This happened every show. Every show where this old dog starts going all different ways. What I'm simply saying, hey, man.
Did he not make a correlation?
I'm like, okay, so we had something like this happen before, right? Okay, boom. How did the season end that year? Can you remind me? That was all I said.
Yeah, but there's a whole lot behind that.
No, stop.
We're
Patrick,
not dumb.
Patrick, did I not take it that way, or did I go his
Patrick,
way?
tell the truth, Patrick.
Let me know how you
tell the truth, Patrick.
How did you take it?
Tell the truth, Patrick.
Both things are correct. He didn't lead you there.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't.
He led you with
But you going there wasn't inaccurate.
It was a natural leap.
That's not where he was driving the car, though. But nonetheless,
he was driving.
You weren't wrong.
When you said the quarterback hurt, it led to the Super Bowl. This year, the quarterback hurt. Is it going to lead to the Super Bowl?
That's why you weren't wrong in the fact you dropped. That's just not where he was trying to steer the car.
Okay, I did not remember how the season ended.
I didn't. That was Deion's first year. We just talked about Deion got hurt. He signed. Pup got hurt.
Once again, I asked the question, and I knew Jacques was going to provide me the answer.
Really, we're doing this?
Yes, because he was there. Remember, they won. They ain't won Super Bowls since you got on the beat. All that stopped.
Yeah, we're going there.
I raised champions. My daughter's a state champion gymnast.
Well, why ain't
the championship climate environment in my house is proven.
Well,
in my house, under my direct leadership. Direct leadership.
Why don't you go find
I don't have direct leadership out here.
Go make another man and put him on out here for Jerry and help out.
Don't make me do the Calvin Watkins. If I was running this team, they'd have a Super Bowl.
Yeah, your boy Wade ain't got over that yet.
I don't know. All I know is my Braves lost Ronald Acuna and won the World Series last year. You know, you can do it. Depth matters.
Golly, geez, no.
Depth matters. Oh, you know, I had to find a way.
Hey, man, look.
I mean, it's sports, though.
As long as you got Ron Washington, you have hope. Ron and Prime are right there together.
But all
man.
jokes aside, I mean, it's sports, so it goes to depth. This is about roster building. This is, like you said in the first segment, this is now, you know, when you lose a megastar like that, now your roster building ability and management gets put to the fire. So this roster, as it's built, we talk about it having depth. We've seen that they have the depth. These guys are going to have to step up and be a little bit more than depth. They're going to have to be a little bit more than the expectation was initially. So, for example, a guy like Eric Scott, right? You brought him in, and the goal was you get him along behind Gilmore and behind Lewis and Bland and Diggs. Now Diggs is down. So now that makes a personnel change between Bland and Gilmore. How you going to run that? Now you're looking at Noah, obviously, but you're looking at Eric Scott and saying, yeah, maybe it was going to be a 2024 thing as far as pushing you harder and getting you some reps in games. It's right now. So like you said, I mean, it goes to roster management. That's any sport, you know, so.
Man, I'm just bummed.
Yeah, that's a blow.
You know, this is this. You know, I hate to have a show in which we're so bummed that this is all breaking news that's happening. Clarence is clearly writing a story right now for the Star Telegram because that's what he does, and you got to get that information out here. So I respect that. This is just a tough thing because you saw Diggs having a really good year.
No, he was doing his thing, and I think everybody who's paid attention to him understands that it was good to see him show some physicality after not being physical at all most of last year and being a terrible tackler. That he was laying the wood on some people, causing fumbles. I mean, he was playing his game and upping his game, and that's what you expect. But anytime you had this stuff, man, it presents opportunity for some other cats, and it's up to them to take advantage of it, whoever they are, because the opportunity has arrived, and now are you ready for it?
Go back, put your beat writer hat on.
Man, I got to dust that thing off.
When something like this happens, we'll go around the table. How does someone help Diggs the player? Because he was having a year balling. He got himself paid, so he's at least got that. But just
you talking about just the
mentality,
the guy?
Right? Yeah, the guy, the mental state that he's in here. Because now these things they've got to keep on going, and you've got to do your rehab, and you're not going to be a part of things.
Well, that depends. You can be as much a part as you want to, in some respects, and how close you want to be. And then, you know, it works both ways, and I don't know Diggs well enough to understand his mentality, meaning some people want to be close to it so they can still feel a part of it, and some people are like, man, this thing hurt too much for me to be this close and not be able to play. And so I think what you have to do is just meet him where he's at. What do you like to do? You want to be involved? You want to be in the booth? I mean, how you want to handle it? We'd love to have you here. What you want to do? Tell us how you want to be involved. You want to coach up the young guys? I mean, what you want to do? Whatever you want to do, we make it happen. Let's get it. You part of the team. You're a big part of the team. Blase, blase, blase.
It goes to that. I mean, these coaches know these players backwards and forwards, inwards and outwards. And, you know, this kind of harkens back to the story that in a conversation that I had with a story I wrote based on a conversation I had with Jordan Lewis. And when Jordan Lewis suffered his injury, and it was described as Liz Frank, but it was much worse. His foot was shattered. Mike McCarthy said himself it was career-threatening at the time. Jordan Lewis, who is one of the more vocal guys on the team, he's a locker room leader. He's on the leadership committee. Dan Quinn and the defensive coaching staff couldn't get him to, you know, reply to call or answer calls, reply to text messages, and that was so out of character for him that more or less they did a wellness check. They mounted up. Dan Quinn and some defensive coaches, Al Harris and some defensive players, they went and pulled up on Jordan Lewis at his front door, knocked on the door, and they mentally made sure that he reconnected with the team. And Jordan himself said that was the turning moment in his rehabilitation. That's what helped him, because he felt like if these guys are willing to fight this hard for me, I need to fight that hard for myself and return the favor and be that, you know, that fighter for them as well. So if this is a situation where Trevon Diggs kind of sinks into himself, I'm confident, especially having had that conversation with Jordan Lewis, that Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy, they have the temperature of their players well enough to know, hey, we might need to go and pull this guy out. We might need to go check on him. So great story for Jordan Lewis, and that tells me a lot about how this coaching staff loves its players, cares about its players, and worries about them and takes care of them on a mental health capacity as well as a physical capacity.
Thank you for that. Okay, so, Jock, you as well. The Cowboy injury report is out. So let me run through it. Tyler Biotish, the center, hamstring limited today on Thursday. Brandon Cooks with a knee, full participant in practice today. Diggs, knee injury, they list him as limited, but we've already told you he's got a confirmed ACL tear. He will miss the rest of the season. Chuma Edoga, elbow, full participant in practice today. Jaron Kearse, illness, did not practice today, didn't practice yesterday. Zach Martin, guard with an ankle, did not practice today. Tyler Smith, hamstring, full participant in practice today. Donovan Wilson, safety with a calf, full participant in practice today. Over here with the Arizona Cardinals, offensive lineman Kelvin Beachum, hand injury, full participant the past 2 days. Leki Fotu, defensive lineman with a shoulder, limited for Arizona. Carlos Watkins, former Cowboy, defensive lineman, biceps, did not practice today and also didn't practice yesterday. Josh Woods, linebacker, ankle injury for the Arizona Cardinals, did not practice Wednesday, did not practice on Thursday. So that is your most up-to-date injury report at 3:31 here on a Thursday afternoon. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Keep on going here. It's the breaking news of the day. You hate it for Trevon Diggs, Pro Bowler, is going to be out the rest of the season, torn ACL. That's been reported by several outlets as we are here broadcasting from the Star. And this is DallasCowboys.com radio.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. Hashtag be your own boss.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Media Mash.
Media Mash here from the Star in Frisco, SWBC Podcast Studios here. Joining me, we got Jock Taylor, we got Patrick Walker, we've got Clarence Hill. Man, there's just some days where I do hate the people on Twitter, okay? I just won't. Mm-hmm. I put out a tweet when CeeDee Lamb was talking, and all 4 of us were there. And CeeDee said, hey, lots of teams are 2-0. Separation comes in week 5. Somebody tweets at me, Negroes looking ahead is exactly why they've won 2 playoff games in 7 years.
Who are you talking about?
I'm just reading Twitter. And just talk about CeeDee Lamb. And it's like, and I was about to type back. Then I just said, stop. I'm not going to do it.
Stop.
We were all there. This was not, no way in the world was he looking forward. In fact, he was talking about trying to stay focused to get ready for Arizona.
Didn't he
3-0.
Didn't he say we had a team get together where we said, let's stay focused and let's not look ahead? He was saying separation doesn't come until week 5 or so. And actually, it really don't come until like week 8 or 9.
Yeah, he said you don't know anybody. He just said you don't really know who's good after 2 weeks of the season.
People don't hear what you're saying. They hear what they want you to say that allows them to argue with what they think you said.
Exactly.
And that's the problem with social.
When you say Darryl Strawberry is a straw, they called him a straw. People didn't hear what you said. They think you're talking about Reggie Jackson.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrong.
That sounds like...
So
I just figured I'd play along. Doesn't hurt to play along, I guess.
No, you don't need to play along with that. Don't even play along with that.
Dan Quinn sided with me. I just wanted to let you show.
Clarence came on Channel 5 on Sunday.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
He didn't know his history.
That's not true. That is not.
I get local channels at the crib.
That is not true. Jock Taylor.
He does not know his New York baseball history.
Jock Taylor. I'm asking you something.
Let me finish. No. You're talking more.
Is he finna say he went to dinner with Reggie 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, did go to dinner with Reggie.
That was why I'm sitting here shocked.
Did go to dinner with Reggie.
You were sitting here with Mr. October, and you don't even know that he the man that came out there and said, I'm the straw that stirs the drink. You're going to say it's Darryl Strawberry. So we corrected
that was not what I said. First of all, they're lying. They don't understand context. That's why I brought it full circle, because people don't hear what you said. I said that Michael Parsons is what they used to say. What they used to say about Darryl Strawberry. He's a straw that serves the drink. I did not say it wasn't Reggie Jackson. He's trying to act like I was dissing Reggie Jackson. People in New York, Mets fans, Dan Quinn. I said, Dan Quinn, who's the straw that stirs the drink? He said, Darryl Strawberry.
So he don't know nothing about baseball.
No, he knows that they also call Darryl Strawberry that. It's not about where it originated. The question was, do they also call him that? So bringing it full circle, people don't hear what you say. People don't hear what you say. That's what you said. You said.
I said they hear what allows them to argue with what they thought you said.
Exactly. Because I did not say it wasn't Darryl. It wasn't Reggie Jackson. I did not know the Reggie Jackson called himself that. I said they also called Darryl Strawberry that.
You don't know baseball history.
No, I said also.
We just corrected because that was a huge. It was a sport magazine. You had
and Darryl Strawberry was
caused a stir.
And Darryl Strawberry was also on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
He caused a stir with it though.
Yes.
Anyway. Well,
I watched a documentary.
Diving into another session.
Reggie asked me if I watched it. You ain't watched my documentary? He asked me that when I met him, when I had a drink with Reggie. He said, you ain't watched my documentary?
This was like a reenactment of a Twitter debate. That's exactly what that was.
And that's what you do. And then you tried to take a shot at my Lexus on Twitter the other day, yesterday.
You caught it. I know you did. You don't have to reply for me to know you saw it.
Charger guy.
You just bringing all your little your issues out here, all your pettiness in here.
He brought his charge. He brought his.
He got something with you. You got something with John. You got coming with you. He's
with Team Charger.
Go ahead. What you got for John? You shoot slugs all these ways.
This was not a slug. This was a friendly banter.
Now we can ask Patrick why he blocked me on Twitter.
Because you blocked me first.
Is this true?
I don't know.
Is this true?
Listen,
I don't know.
We burying the hatchet right now. We all good.
We good. Listen, I will say, because one thing about me, these two
Black Men Summit right here. We gonna put our feelings out. We gonna put our feelings out here.
This is Essence Festival.
You in the Black Men Middle. Let's talk about this.
No, we'll go from it. But I never block fellow colleagues unless for whatever reason I got blocked first. So, I mean, we're good. I mean, I'll unblock because I don't even remember what it was in the first place. I mean,
when it was brought to my attention, I said, I don't know.
Yeah. So, and I don't remember. So,
I'm glad we can hash this out on air.
Black man therapy session.
Let's follow.
Can we get
your phone right now? Look at your phone, man.
It's BT on.
I'm doing it right.
This the Red Table Talk.
Let's go.
No, it ain't.
Oh, no. Ain't no entanglement.
He's entangled with this Red Table Talk on CowboysMediaMash.com.
Nobody Will Smith up in here.
No, sir. Ain't no
I don't think he's
entanglements,
blocked.
Anyway, just look it up.
So it's.
But I have like 797 people blocked. So at one point it could have been that way.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you got.
Is it blocked?
see?
No.
Man, unblock that man. But he got about 3 accounts.
So, I mean,
he got
he got burners.
Yeah, well, you know.
he Durant.
He had to leave one of his accounts a long time ago.
I thought you were about to say he leads the league in burner accounts.
He had to he had to update his accounts.
That's really the exaggeration.
But that's what I mean. Like I don't do it until it's done to me. So but we're solid.
We're good.
We're solid.
Coach Prime in the making of men.
Black's got a book out.
Promo.
Making a man.
Promo. Black men
Prime
healing.
is not Block Jock on Twitter. They're friends.
Well.
They're good. They're good.
Black men healing in real time.
They're good.
Buy
They're
his
good.
So you can't get this everywhere.
No, this is supposed to be us mourning about Trevon Diggs.
And we are.
Being out
This
with
is us at the
torn
repass,
ACL.
man.
And then Clarence got to come making things personal.
I didn't make that
Personal and
personal,
petty.
but as I
Personal and petty.
as I say with all my friends, every conversation is an extension of another conversation. We don't let nothing go.
You don't let nothing go.
we gonna let it come. We gonna bring it all back full circle because it all relates. It all
All
interrelates.
right, chill. You got these people thinking we at the cookout. What else
We
you
are at
gotta
the
do?
cookout. We are at the cookout. Dennis Houston.
What else you got? See, he can't help himself. Can't even help himself. What else you got, dude? Donovan Wilson's coming back.
Good old Dono's coming back. Jordan Lewis. So the Cowboys defensive backfield, as they're losing Diggs as they get ready to go to Arizona, they are getting some reinforcements. Yes, Clarence, you have something to say.
Yeah, one question. You know, Pat, we can all talk about this. Tony Pollard never had 32 carries on his body in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Never 32 touches.
Never had 32 touches, carries, ball, tackles, whatever. He never had this in his life. Going back to high school, never been that guy. He got through the game fine. How's he gonna get through game 2? You know, with the body, yes, he's doing a lot of things extra, but that's the next question. That's the next step we have to prove.
You asked him that yesterday, and which is it's a legitimate question. How does your body respond? And then I go back to
because we don't know because you've never done this before,
right? And we go back to what Skip Pete had talked about. Skip was very adamant that you needed to have the two guys here, and you wanted to keep them fresh. So this is a very good thing. Now, I remember I asked McCarthy after the game, about it, and he said, "Well, this was going to be a heavy lifting day for
Jerry
Tony.
did not like it, and he brought it up several times.
And thank you.
Why is Tony Pollard on the field in the fourth quarter getting carries? Maybe we'd have scored early. Tony Pollard wouldn't be on. I mean, just zings. We talking about something else. He comes back with. We're talking about the red zone. Well, maybe Tony Pollard would have scored early. We wouldn't be on the field.
Oh, he was pulling the clearance.
But yes, he was doing that, and he said, but I trust our leadership. He was throwing rocks and hiding his hands. I trust our leadership. That's on Mike.
He learned from you, didn't he?
He said that 3 different times he brought up Tony Pollard being on the field in the fourth quarter.
It could have been a situation where, yes, you're trying to close out the game. You don't want the young guys who like, we don't need you to score. We don't need you to do nothing special. Fumble the ball, breathe life into a team that should be dead.
Right.
So instead, I'm gonna go with Tony Pollard and do it. Now, I had a more sinister thought. Like,
He's sinister.
My sinister thought was he playing on the franchise tag. If he get 350 carries this year, 400 carries,
DeMarco
400
Murray.
touches, it don't matter.
Just use them up and then.
But that was not Jerry's attitude when he complained about the touches.
I said that was my sinister thought.
Yeah.
I think because Jerry saw what happened when Tony Pollard left that field in Santa Clara in January.
Right, all of that.
So,
he's our best playmaker. He's not number one playmaker on offense. I don't care what you say.
So I think, to your point, I mean, it's a valid question to ask. How's he going to manage the workload as far as for Pollard? How's McCarthy going to manage that workload? How's Pollard's body going to react to it? But I can tell you right now, 17-plus games, he's not going to be averaging 30-plus touches.
Well, I know. And
that's how. So you're going to see more of Rico, more
that's
of
the plan.
Deuce Vaughn,
because,
Hunter
and it's one thing to do it from game 1 to game 2 and game 2 to game 3. We're talking about December December football, 17 weeks. You cannot have that type of workload for Tony Pollard.
All right, so agreed. We'll see if Dowdle is getting more touches.
Yeah.
And
Deuce, Hunter Lipke.
We'll see how they manage him against the Arizona Cardinals. And that's a great question you can ask. We get the second question tomorrow at the Mike McCarthy conference call. And Patrick, I know you'll be on there as well. So,
I think most of the questions tomorrow are going to be about that cornerback spot.
But you got the second question. So
I got follow-ups. We got. David going to ask about the injury.
Right.
I'm going to ask about the replacements. I mean, it's a whole series of questions we got to deal with cornerback before we get to hypotheticals about the running back.
So we'll have Gelkin ask the question.
Whoever you want to have ask the question. I'm just saying we got a series of cornerback related questions.
It's your question.
Exactly.
We need to put this on somebody.
We got some follow-ups.
We'll put it on Nick Harris. Somebody. We got to put. Somebody's got to ask the question.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, once again, if you're just joining us, the news is somber today. Pro Bowl corner Trevon Diggs torn ACL, so he will miss the rest of the season. The Cowboys have yet to confirm it, but it's been out there by several outlets, and
they've confirmed it, sourced it, but yes.
Yeah, so we'll see exactly what Mike McCarthy has to say tomorrow and what the plan will be going forward for the club. We kind of thought it out and talked it out what we think it'll be, but obviously the head coach will tell us exactly what happens. Jacques Taylor, thank you very much. Patrick Walker, thank you very much. Clarence Hill, appreciate you as always. I really do. I'm Billy Scruggs. It's the Media Mash right here on DallasCowboys.com.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?